The Liberty A-League is live in Ballarat again as two teams desperate to bounce back from weekend disappointment square off out in the regions in Victoria's West. Western United against the Newcastle Jets. First ever meeting between the two teams, and good to see both locals and travellers are getting out into the stands at Moorshead Park to watch on. The Western Core have their banners out, hoping to cheer Western United back to the winners list after the shock and disappointment of a 3-1 loss right here in Ballarat against Perth at the weekend. And there have been changes aplenty. 5 to the starting 11. In come Carly Johnson, Adriana Taranto, Alex Sinclair, Julia Sato and Natasha Dakic. To the bench go Savicki, Steer, Cern and Vlanich. Amy Medwin is rested ahead of the weekend clash against Melbourne City, while Franny Iamano also drops out of the matchday squad. Newcastle, coming off a 3-0 defeat to Canberra, make one change, and it's Lara Gooch into the starting 11. Leah Puxty moves to the bench, Josie Allen is added to the bench, and Sophie Stapleford drops out of the squad. Still no place for Adriana Konyaski. Both teams out onto the pitch. It's in perfect condition, just like it was at the weekend. And Newcastle are wearing their white away kit with the gold stripes and shorts. Western United in their customary green and black home kit. There is Alexandra Sinclair at 35 years young, making her first start in the Liberty A-League. We've seen her make 7 appearances off the bench. She played for the Victoria Vision back in the old women's NSL, and this debut at A-League women's level has been a long time coming. Mark Torcaso is still in the running for Coach of the Month for January, but the vote on keepup.com.au was getting close, with Western Sydney Wanderers' Kat Smith closing in. Jump on to Keep Up if you want to have a vote for your own. Today's refereeing crew will be headed by Isabella Libri, who is standing second from the right, Caitlin Williams, the 4th official, and the 2 assistant referees on either side are Daniel Anderson on the right and Jasmine Steger on the left. Gary Van Egmont's second game in charge after taking over as interim coach from Ash Wilson. And given this is the first meeting between these two clubs, he'll be hoping to avoid the fate of many other teams that have squared off against Western United, which is losing their first ever head-to-head matchup. Georgie Worth will be hoping to keep Western United out. This Newcastle team has conceded 31 goals already this season. It's one more than they conceded in the entire campaign last season. And Grace, that doesn't reflect too well on the defending as we get underway. How the Jets would love to keep another clean sheet, given Western United will be out here desperate for goals this afternoon.
Well, 31 goals for the season. Look, it's not a record any team wants to have against their name. And for Newcastle and Gary Van Egmond as well, the question is how they can tighten things up defensively and stop leaking goals for this tail end of the season.
Newcastle getting a feel for the ball and for the pitch. A little bit of wind around. Cannon Clough miscontrols the ball, but is able to go and recover and hit it long. Skimming off the head of Ashley Brodigan, but dealt with by Sydney Cummings, one of a number of players in the running for Player of the Month for January as well. And here's Carly Johnson back in the starting 11 today, out on the left wing, cutting in, trying to create, and gets stood up as the ball is cleared away, and it will be an early throw. So Western get the ball again. Angie Beard hurling it down the line. Hannah Keane trying to engage with the game and slides it on nicely for Carly Johnson. And the young winger, one-on-one against Taryn King inside the box. Concedes a little bit of ground to Beard. Just a tumbler into the area, and that could have turned in for an own goal. Lucy Johnson puts it behind for a corner. And that is the first set piece now of the afternoon for Western United.
Well, it ended up being a really good moment for Western United. Carly Johnson, of course, who's just been named in Leah Blaney's squad for the under-20s Matildas. This first time ball in was a tricky one to defend for Newcastle, and United have had their first look.
No Danielle Steer in the starting lineup today, so they're not as tall and intimidating as they usually would be, but they're still Keane and Cummings to aim for. Taranto's corner. Cummings is winning the first header. It falls in the 6-yard box, and it's a big scramble. The Jets get it away with the aid of a couple of deflections. They won't want to replicate that, though. Those can end up in the back of the net by hook or by crook. King to cries of drive, but she wants to go for the pass instead, and it's a good pass. And then you hear a cry of frustration coming from the bench, because that was a great incisive ball there from Taryn King, but the Jets weren't able to make the most of hitting up a player between the lines.
Look, that was a really clever ball from King.
To Sato. An aggressive pass up the middle. Keane not able to control it. Garney is right there. And now Agnew chipping it into the box. Griffith making a run, but Beale is out and holds on to the ball. When we talk about Newcastle's defence this season, Grace, Emily Garney has perhaps been a player that's gone under the radar. Also from the Chicago Red Stars, 26 years old, so by no means a youngster that's come out here to get experience, a player in the peak years of their career. But on the ball right now, Garney hasn't provided the solidarity that the Jets might have hoped for. We'll come back to that. Brodigan on the move. Angie Beard. And that's an underhit clearance. Murphy Agnew, Newcastle getting another chance, and that ends up being an overhit cross. Griffith wins the header. It breaks central though. King is on the scene, and now Agnew onto the ball. Sliding it low, here is Ashley Brodigan, and courageous goalkeeping, but the ball is spilled. The follow-up, Gooch is denied. Well, that would have been the early birthday present for Lara Gooch, if not for some good goalkeeping. Oh,
that was a great through ball there from Murphy Agnew. Really good weight on it. Hilary Beale had to be off her line, and she was off well. There was the defensive effort there of Natasha Dakic providing a bit of cover.
The big block goes out. Newcastle starting to knock on the door, starting to fire shots on Western's goal. The cross in from Brodigan, and it's a big clearing punch from Beale to get the ball away. Western pinned back in their defensive half at the moment as Keane goes to ground.
And that punch is an excellent clearance there from Beale.
Taranto out to the right for Sinclair, but Cannon Clough is able to come in and take the ball away. And then out into space, which is being guarded by Dakic. There's a mix-up here. Brodigan has the chance and puts it wide. And you could tell as the arms went to the head that Ash Brodigan hadn't put it on the target. And then it agonisingly rolled wide left.
Well, this ball from Cannon Clough is excellent. The weight on it has put indecision into the mind of Hilary Beale, and Dakic hasn't been able to deal with it. That's got to be a finish from Brodigan. She knows it too.
Western's avenue to goal on what has been a rather toothless afternoon so far. High ball, Georgie Worth is up, and that's a great collect. Got the body taken out from under her, but was able to grasp onto the ball.
Great grab there by Worth. Really assertive coming off her line, and she had to be.
Natasha Dakic, 7th appearance of the season today, 2nd start. Here's Carly Johnson immediately into the box, cutting it across the 6-yard area. King gets it away, the header there, Keane with a flick header, and it goes just wide. And that was a little bit of something out of nothing, all thanks to the run of Carly Johnson.
Well, it was a great enterprising run by Johnson. We know that Lauren Allen is no slouch herself, so Johnson's done really well to get this delivery away, and Taryn King on the first time is able to clear. But
maybe that's the spark now for the home team. Sinclair keeps it in. Sato putting it into the path of Hannah Keane, who went for glory with the keeper out of her line. And the right idea there with Georgie Worth in no man's land, but Hannah Keane couldn't execute. Agnew is going to mix it up and go short. Gooch. The cross is a little skinny. It rolls along the crossbar and then is turned out at the far post. It's another corner. Taryn King was there. And that was the element of surprise from Lara Gooch.
Oh, well, that ball in from Gooch taunted the crossbar and just danced its way along the top with 1-2 touches. And credit to Lara Gooch. She's been involved in every one of these and looking really, really likely at the moment.
She's going to run up and present the short option again. Murphy Agnew taking corners from both sides. And this one's going to be a more conventional delivery. Oh, is it? No, everyone fooled. Gooch looks up at Taranto. And it's corner number 5. Well, a handful of corners. Let's see if Newcastle can make them count.
Well, Lara Gooch tricked you on that one, Teo, with the little slight.
It's interesting that I think 3 out of the 4 corners have been short corners. Do we get a conventional delivery here? We do. High to the far post and turned in! Taryn King! The Jets get the goal that they will feel their first half deserves, and for the first time in the Liberty A-League, Taryn King is a goal scorer.
Well, look at that celebration. You can see what it means to Taryn King. unmarked at the far post. Just too much time and space, and she nods that home. And what a moment for Taryn King.
A half in which Western United have not put a shot on the target. Ball out to the right. Lauren Allen looking dangerous here. Angie Beard blocked it initially. Allen again. Brodigan with the leave. Cannon Clough is following up. Clough bending it into the crossbar. And out it goes for a goal kick, and Cannon Clough can't believe it. We had one first-time goal scorer in Taryn King today. That would have been Cannon Clough. Another defender joining her on the score sheet had it been just a little lower.
Oh, I really like the leave at the middle of the 18-yard box there.
Cummings. Long raking cross. Worth lured out. The double punch away, and Cass Davis is able to boot it clear. That'll take us to the end of stoppage. Does the referee allow any extras for Western to stay on the attack? Angie Beard. And now Carly Johnson. A quick head check to see what's on in the area. Bends it in, and Worth holds on. It's quick to roll it out, but that will take Newcastle to the break in the lead, looking to win for the first time in 4. At the moment, it's Taryn King's first and only A-League Women's goal that has the top team on the ladder on track to lose 2 in a row. Western are wobbling, and the Newcastle Jets go to half-time in the ascendancy. It's Western United 0, Newcastle Jets 1.
You can see here, first substitution for the afternoon.
Yep. It looks as though it's going to be at least a double. TJ Vlanich and Jacqueline Savicki have been brought into the action. You see the number 19 closest to the 4th official, and Jacqueline Savicki, the Philippines international, is also on. And there's confirmation that TJ Vlanich was also entering the game. Looks as though Alex Sinclair's afternoon is over, so that'll be a likely straight swap of players on the left flank, and here's Savicki into midfield. And really, we haven't seen the best of Jacqueline Savicki just yet. Western have been so high on her. The former Canada one-cap international is now representing the Philippines, Grace, and really, if she's going to step up and help win them a game, it's got to be today.
Look, now's exactly the time to do so, and I am curious to see a little bit more out of Savicki and what she can offer in the way of her leadership and her experience you just mentioned there.
Right now, Newcastle are on the hunt for a second, though. And it is young Lara Gooch starting for the first time in the A-League today. Crossing in, the ball is cleared only as far as Murphy Agnew. Had the assist for the goal with the corner kick. And Taryn King sweeps the ball out to Cannon Clough, who rattled the crossbar right at the end of the first half. And here is Sarah Griffith. Alana Cern has been subbed on as well. A triple change for Western United. Savicki, Cern and Vlanich all coming on in the halftime break. Grace, Mark Torcaso not wasting any time. He left those players out to warm up on the pitch at halftime, though, so whatever the team talk was, they weren't privy to it.
Yeah, I'm unsurprised to see a couple of those changes, especially defensively. Alana Cern did feel as though she was missed in that first 45 minutes. Just a really sound, smart defender.
And here's a chance now with the shot for 2! Ash Brodigan! Superb finish, and Newcastle are looking good. Really great technique, and it hit the inside of the post before going in, and you can see that really the monkey's off the back after the first half, and Brodigan won't be thinking about the miss anymore.
Well, what a start to this second half from Newcastle. A wonderful finish by Brodigan, and a tougher one than that chance she had in the first half.
Has the chance to put it in the penalty area, and if it becomes 3, it's going to become a real issue for Western. High, hopeful ball, and too close to the keeper. Easy pickings this time for Hilary Veal. Brodigan, who was one of the leading goal scorers for the Northern Tigers, who finished runner-up in the New South Wales NPL last winter. Here's an early ball from Gooch. The flag stays down. Brodigan is in again. It's a one-on-one finish. This to make it 3. And it falls off the line. Cummings gets it away. So close for Brodigan. Beale makes the save. And there was still a clean-up job to do from Sydney Cummings.
Well, it was a great run from Brodigan. She was in a beautiful position here. the height of that shot, really comfortable for a goalkeeper to make, and Hilary Beale is able to get a strong hand to stop that one.
Interesting that she didn't pick a side there, just went for power instead. Here's the corner. Agnew. Ricochet off heads. Brodigan almost presented another chance. Clough back to the edge of the box. Lucy Johnson with a drive, and it's held on to by Hilary Beale. Lucy Johnson has also never scored an A-League women's goal. Well, it was a great pass from Gooch, and regardless of how Western feel about the offside claims, it should have been 3. Of course, they were coming on a 4-game losing streak into today's game. Cummings slices the ball the wrong way. Beale goes with a header instead of catching, and now the follow-up. Oh, big body check from Sydney Cummings there, and the decision is a goal kick, but I'm surprised Newcastle aren't asking for a penalty here. That was quite the hefty challenge from Sydney Cummings.
A pretty uncomfortable one nonetheless, though.
Griffith back up on her feet now. Little jink, shake of the hips, and is able to get past Alana Cern. Sends in the cross. Brodigan misses the header. What a good chance for Newcastle. They are adding up here the opportunities to build on their lead.
Well, Brodigan, 2 really good chances this game that she should have done better with.
It is all taking place down at Newcastle's attacking end, and it feels as though a 3rd goal will be too big a gap for Western to bridge, given their lack of creativity today. Johnson, and now Dakic. It's last-ditch defending from Western United at the moment. Savicki can't control the ball. Here comes Lauren Allen. Normally an attacker wants to get in on the action. Gooch in behind. The square is cleared away by Cummings. But Western are on the ropes here at the moment. Savicki. Now Rovers. Western, can they score against the run? And it genuinely would be against the run if they hit the back of the net here. Carly Johnson wins a corner. And maybe this can be the start of something for Western United. 3rd corner of the game for Western United. Vlanich with a little two-handed pat on the head. Where does that mean the ball is going? There's a pack at the near post. That's where the ball's landing, and it's glancing across the face. Sydney Cummings was up. And how was that not goal number 4 of the season for the centre-back?
Well, she's so dangerous on those set pieces, and Western United great from corners. They've scored a number of their goals from set pieces and corners in particular this year.
Western United may be encouraged by getting a little bit closer. Rovers. As it stands, they're still yet to put a shot on the target and really test Georgie Worth. Johnson goes to work again, and the tap-in is missed by Keane. It really isn't their day. Hannah Keane in the 6-yard box, sliding in, and could not get a goal-bound touch. That is agonising. Tara Andrews immediately challenging for the ball in the air. Savicki nods it on. Vlanich, the early pass. Hannah Keane has just got an angle here. Keane! And it's wide! Well, another great chance for Western United, and they cannot put a shot on target today, Grace.
Well, Hannah Keane, she'll be so frustrated with that one. The ball was excellent from Vlanich. Picked out Hannah Keane really well. The weight behind that, the first touch from Keane was also on point. It was just that finish. She'll be so frustrated.
Newcastle perhaps looking for a response. Andrews gets the ball on quickly. Sarah Griffith, this is where she's so dangerous, Griffith, but shoots it straight at Beale. Chances at both ends now for Newcastle's 7th corner of the game. They take it short. Gooch is going to float it high. Beale caught behind players and fouled, impeded, and thus had to go for the punch rather than more. Well, it means that they've definitely interpreted their defence differently today. Lauren Allen at right back. Tegan Allen, no relation, now in at centre back. Here's Hannah Keane bending a ball. Knotted down by Clough. The follow-up from Adriana Taranto, but it lacked the menace. And it is, belatedly in the 80th minute, the first shot on target of the game for Western United. Confirmation of that sub. Carly Johnson off. Danielle Steer on. Vlanich, the cross shot, trying for the element of surprise. If there is one player who can score from wide angles, it's TJ Vlanich. Here's another look at the chances that are starting to add up for Western.
Well, Hannah Keane just starting to get more and more involved in this game. And with the exception of that one moment, it's been a really sound afternoon for the goalkeeper.
Lauren Allen almost caught. Angie Beard was trying to wrap her up in possession, but Allen kept her head, kept the ball. And now Sydney Cummings pressured into a back pass here. Beale, quick to clear. Robers against Davis. Very hard player to win a duel against. And the ball spills kindly for Western regardless. Hannah Keane turning central, playing it early. Alana Cerner's pushed up into midfield. Adriana Taranto is waiting in the area here. It's a high ball bouncing at the byline. Was it kept in? It wasn't. It looked as though it had crept beyond the line. So 5 minutes of regulation to go. A goal here, and we could still be on for the big finish. Vlanic whips it in, and it doesn't get a touch from anyone. Tantalisingly through the 6-yard box and out for a goal kick. Josie Allen. Confidence for the 16-year-old with a nice touch. And all the way back to Tegan Allen, also no relation. We've got all three Allens on the field, Grace, for the Newcastle Jets at the moment. Garnier. Long ball right up the middle. Griffith trapping, trying to roll Sydney Cummings, and did so in winning a foul. Western United go on to face Melbourne City this weekend, but it's worth mentioning that Newcastle's next assignment is away to Perth. Tough away trip. Perth would have been thinking about getting on a bit of a run themselves after beating Western United on Saturday and starting to make the most of their games in hand, but it's going to be a very different looking Newcastle that's going to be making that trip. And let's not forget they drew 2-2 in Newcastle earlier in the season. Here's Vlanic crossing into the box, and Worth is down and sure-handed diving onto the ball. These two teams play each other again in Newcastle on Sunday the 26th. So a very short turnaround between the two head-to-heads, and you just wonder how different Western United's season trajectory will be going when they meet. Of course, we've got the international break in between then with the Cup of Nations. The Matildas playing 3 games. We'll also have Czechia, Spain and Jamaica as part of that tournament.
And what a moment that will be for Newcastle.
Well, they'll have no shortage of opportunities to think about in this game, Western United, but Newcastle themselves could have scored so many more than 2. If anything, quite a wasteful day for them. Ash Brodigan leaves with a very nicely taken goal and 2 misses with far more clear-cut chances. It's perhaps reflected in the XG as well. 1.99 for Newcastle, 1.54 for Western. And the score that matters is that Newcastle are up 2-0. Just a 3rd win of the season. The first under Gary Van Egmond. And it is also a priceless 2nd clean sheet of the campaign. The Jets have come down to Ballarat and knocked off the ladder leaders. It finishes Western United 0, Newcastle Jets 2.